Beat the Mets. Step right up and beat the Mets. Bring your kitties, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really rocking that ball. Hit those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the MetsCast Mets of New York Town.
And here are your hosts of the MetsCast, Nick Durst and John Brown.
East side, west side, everybody's coming down.
It's the MetsCast on WGSports.com and WG Sports Radio. Nick Durst and John Brown back again. And John, as we are in July now, the Mets season is basically over.
Shocking, I know. You could listen to last year's podcast around the same time and we'd be having the same exact talk. Unfortunately, that is what it is, and we're in fourth place all over again.
And the Mets just cannot get it done, and they've been really bad as of late. And you know what? They're led by their aging, PED-using second baseman who shows no effort, no care in the world, does not want to be there, and that is Robinson Cano. What do you think of this guy so far as a Met? I think it's pretty much exactly what we said in the offseason was going to happen. He's going to be terrible, he's going to be unhealthy, and he's just aged, and he's just not good.
Absolutely. You know, saying I told you so doesn't get you any extra points, but, you know, I told you so at the beginning of this. As soon as they made that trade, listen, it's a disaster. The guy's 36, which is ancient when it comes to baseball terms, especially coming off PEDs. So it means that the last few years, which, by the way, were down years for him, were PED-induced. So now you take away the PEDs. He's 36 years old. He can't get DH at-bats, so he has to play the field. You know, it's a disaster. The fact that we get 3 more years at $20 million is unheard of. So every talking head, every smart guy on Twitter said, "Oh, it's fine because you know, we're going to get Edwin Diaz out of the trade." Great, young guy, greatest, a lot of saves. Turns out we got Armando Benitez in the trade because the last month he's just had a gas can and gotten lit up. His ERA in the last 7 appearances is 7.5. You can't have this guy close right now. He's I don't know what it is, but he stinks. And Cano's been freaking awful. He's batting .250. He went on the deal.
I think Cano's batting .220. Actually, don't give him too much credit.
Yuck! He's a disaster. So he's a subpar second baseman now, and he's not hitting his body weight. And they still bat him third. So we're not even taking our medicine. It was a bad move. We paid some guy for things he did in the past, not what he can do in the future. And instead of just dealing with it and sticking him on the bench, we're just going to keep running him out there. Oh, he'll get over it. No, he won't. He's almost 40. He's not going to get over it. Unless he starts doing PEDs again, he's going to stink.
Absolutely horrendous. He's just so bad. And, John, I got to ask you, is this the worst trade in baseball history just a few months into the season? Is it too early to say that?
I would say it is. It's up there. It's up there with the Bobby Bonilla Mets trade. I would say the only way this gets worse is that if that kid we traded to Seattle ends up becoming a star, and he played in the futures game, so he has a pretty bright future. If he ends up becoming a star, this is a disaster trade.
They traded Jared Kelenic, who pretty much everybody in baseball says in a year or two is going to be in the majors, all-star level player. And they also traded Justin Dunn, a pitcher. You think the Mets can use a starting pitcher or relief pitcher right now? I think they could. And both of these guys are going to be in the futures game. And the Mets are just treading water barely at this point. It's very close to drowning. And Cano, the whole thing in the offseason, Cano, he's going to bring him in. He's going to be a great leader. He's going to be great for the young guys. He's definitely led by example, John. He's led in showing how not to care, how not to run, how to get injured, and had to play terribly.
Yeah, I didn't understand that because Cano was never that guy. You know what I mean? Like when he was on this whole time he was on the Yankees, him and Joe Torre bopped heads. He was never that guy. He was never a clubhouse guy. He was never a leadership guy. Like I feel like they tried to force feed that he was, Curtis Granderson. He's not Curtis Granderson. He's Robinson Cano. He was this, touted all-star coming up where he was not going to listen to anybody because he was all raw talent and, arrogant and lazy and wasn't running stuff out 10 years ago. So now you bring him in. Like, do you think that he just matured? Was the word on baseball that he matured? I tell you what, he did a lot in Seattle. He did a lot of losing in Seattle, and he's doing a lot of losing here. He's not the answer. The fact that we took on that terrible contract and, look what we gave up for it is, a disaster. Because not only is it a 1-year deal, we got 2-3 more years of this guy. Ugh. And I'd say the very, very worst part of it is that the Mets aren't even leadership won't even say, oops, yeah, our bad, this was a bad mistake. Let's make him our pitch hitter. Nope. We're going to run him out there every day playing subpar second base and stick McNeil in the outfield. And we're going to bat him third every freaking day.
That's the annoying thing because, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I think Mickey Callaway has actually no say in the lineup. And I think if it was up to him, Cano probably wouldn't be batting third. Maybe he, we're being generous here by saying Cano should probably bat eighth on this team. He should be on the bench. I'd rather see a Denny Hechavarria in there every day. I'd rather call up Luis Guillorme to play every day. Bring back Gavin Cecchini right off the DL and put him in the majors every day. Because Cano should not be batting third. He should be batting maybe eighth because he's the worst hitter on the team.
Listen, you know what Cano can give us? He could be sometimes power, left-handed pitch hitter. Love it. Make him Lenny Harris. Stick his ass right there on the bench. Maybe if you want to platoon him a little bit and get him some ABs and run him out there at second base every so often, that's fine. But he's not a major league second baseman every day anymore. And he's starting to look like not a major league hitter anymore. So, it's guaranteed money, so you might as well stick his ass right there on the bench. And I probably agree with you. I would say that Mickey Callaway doesn't really have, he can only pull so many strings. I don't think he's really sitting this lineup. And it's unfortunate because it's probably going to cost him his job.
Yeah, he's going to be the fall guy, I think, unfortunately. And that's not fair to him because he really has, I don't think he has any say at this point. I think I think he's just there to talk to the media and take it like a punching bag. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe after the season, him and Vargas will just, both retire from baseball and get into WWE. That's probably, they'd be more successful there.
Oh my gosh, Vargas trying to attack the reporter. I mean, that was an absolute clown show, John.
Well, you know what? If anyone wants to go back to the tape, I was a big Vargas hater, but I have to eat my hat because that guy's been pitching great. And it looks like he might be one of our trade chips here towards the trade deadline at the end of the month.
Get rid of him. But listen, the Mets, we've said this in the show many times. The Mets are the only team that can have the best second baseman in baseball in Jeff McNeil and say, you know what, we need to bring in not one, but two second basemen. So they bring Cano. They break McNeil go all around the field when he's clearly the best second baseman on the team. And then they also signed Jed Lowrie. John, I don't think we're going to see this guy this year. I honestly think that we're going to see Yoenis Cespedes playing before Jed Lowrie.
Yeah, the Jed Lowrie is in witness protection. I don't know where the hell this guy is. It's a shame because I actually like Jed Lowrie. But that tells you what happens when you get some guy who's an agent and you make him a GM randomly. This is some of the growing pains you're going to get. He's going to sign guys who are on the wrong side of 30. The Lowry deal's not that big money, so whatever. Honestly, if he never plays, it's not the end of the world. But, they have this guy named McNeil who's batting .350 in his first 500 Major League at-bats, and he plays a good second base, super athletic guy. Let's make him play everywhere other than second base, left field, third base, blah, blah, blah. And what it's actually doing is this year it's going to cost him an all-star appearance because his numbers in left field don't look that outrageous. But if you put those numbers at second base, wow, yeah, he has some crazy, really good numbers.
John, without a doubt, McNeil should be an all-star. I don't know if it's going to happen. He's batting .344, which is the second best in all of baseball. He's .04 behind Cody Bellinger. And this guy is going to win the batting title. And and he might not be an all-star because we got Robinson Cano. So McNeil is going to probably win the batting title. Then you have Pete Alonso. He's definitely winning the Rookie of the Year. He's probably hitting 50 home runs. I don't see how he couldn't. He's going to be an all-star. He probably should have started the all-star game. He's second in the league right now with 28 home runs, one behind Yelich. He'll likely have the most home runs in the league by the end of the year. Definitely going to break Aaron Judge's rookie record for home runs and surpass Mark McGwire, who right now they're tied for the most home runs before the break with 29. And he's top 7 in RBIs at 62. And just think about it, John. We have the Rookie of the Year who's going to have the most home runs in the league, probably top 5 RBIs, and the guy who's going to win the batting title and not even going to sniff the playoffs. Unheard of.
It's a disaster, and that just shows you that, they didn't make the right moves around, because neither of these guys were acquisitions. They were both, they were both on the team essentially last year. Obviously, Pete was down in the minor leagues, but so they weren't acquisitions. So you had this treasure trove of guys. A great stat was last year, Conforto hit 28 home runs and led the Mets in home runs. Pete Alonso has more than that in the first half this year. Like that, that's a gold mine. The fact that we couldn't make enough moves to bring some pitching in the bullpen around him and then, beef up this lineup a little bit is a disgrace. It's even like, I know DeGrom hasn't had the year he had last year, but he's still in the top 5 in strikeouts, and he's still a very effective pitcher. He's having a down year for him, but he's still a very good pitcher. The starting pitching hasn't been that bad, honestly. It's
John, look up and down the Mets lineup. Pretty much everybody is actually hitting, and I want to give major props to a guy who you were pretty much hating on in the beginning of the season, I think. And that's Todd Frazier. The guy's bounced back from his injury. He's batting like 260, 270, bunch of home runs, clutch home runs, RBIs. He's doing great. Almost everybody in the lineup is hitting, obviously, except for Cano. So the offense is great. The bullpen is terrible, horrendous, awful, dreadful. Any word that you want to think of that is bad, that's what the bullpen is. We've been saying on this show for 3 seasons now, the bullpen needs to be fixed. The bullpen needs to be fixed. And absolutely nothing has been done to fix it. And the Mets bullpen has blown 20 leads so far this season. Let's just say they only blew 10 leads, John. The Mets are looking at a division title, possibly. That's how good the offense has been. The starting pitching has been pretty good for the most part. But the bullpen is a disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. And that just shows you that, like, not only did we not sign anybody, bring anyone in, our minor leagues aren't producing, bullpen talent for whatever reason. I don't know if we're not preparing them right, if they give up a lot of runs in Vegas, so, their numbers are all outrageous, so we think that, hey, it's just Vegas, but in reality, they just stink. I don't know what it is, but, it's just garbage. Bringing back Familia now looks like a terrible deal. He's gas can city. Lugo's been decent. They've used him too much, and now he's getting worn down. It's the worst bullpen since the 2011 Mets. So if that gives you any perspective, those are historically the two worst bullpens. Maybe it's time maybe firing the pitching coach isn't going to do it. Maybe it's I don't know, sign somebody. They really didn't do their due diligence and go out there. There's guys who we could have brought in, but no, for whatever reason.
Next offseason, they need to sign, I think, 8 relief pitchers, and they'll be set. I don't care. Don't sign anybody else. 8 relief pitchers, and they'll be on their merry way back into contention. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let's talk a little more about Alonso, a little bit of a bright note here. Alonso is going to be in the home run derby. I expect him to fully win that by a wide margin. It's going to be too easy for him. What do you think? And he's going to win $1 million, which is great for him. Home run derby's $1 million prize this year, and that's more than he'll make the whole season.
Nice. No, good for him. I am a little worried because if you remember what happened to David Wright when he went to the home run derby that year, but I think Alonso is a different kind of hitter, so I think it should be fine. I don't even really like watching the home run derby. I think I'm going to watch it this year just because it's Alonso.
I have to watch for him. I have to tune in.
But it's a shame. It's I feel like